If it happens once, it's a mistake. If it happens every day, it's a policy. I'm talking about America's approach to India. The old policy was outreach. The new one is attack. Relentless, escalating, daily attacks. President Donald Trump started the whole thing. He put tariffs on India for buying Russian oil. And now his minions have taken over. The latest is Peter Navarro. He is Donald Trump's trade advisor, also the man behind the tariff fiasco. Yesterday, he launched an all-out attack on India. Peter Navarro says India is a laundromat for Russia, meaning India is laundering Russian oil. He also says New Delhi is perpetuating the war in Ukraine.
India doesn't appear to want to recognize its role in the bloodshed. It simply doesn't. It's cozying up to Xi Jinping is what it's doing. It's not And by the way, I wrote that article in the FT just to deal with the propaganda of the Indian government to make people want to feel sorry for them. Oh, they need the oil. They don't need the oil. It's a refining profiteering scheme. It's a laundromat for the Kremlin.
It's like they're allergic to facts. But let's try again. India is not the leading buyer of Russian oil. That is China. India is not the leading buyer of Russian gas. That's the European Union. India's trade with Russia has not increased 20% since January this year. That's America's trade with Russia. That has increased by 20%. And India has also not armed Ukraine. That's the West. They have done it. So if anyone is perpetuating the war, it is America. Yet Peter Navarro is brazen. He's become a habitual offender. Earlier this month, Navarro launched another attack. He said India is the Maharaja of tariffs.
You start with the fact that India is the Maharaja of tariffs. It's the highest tariffs in the world, charging on American products. And it's got high non-tariff barriers, so we can't get our products in. So we send a lot of dollars overseas to India to buy their products in an unfair trade environment. India then uses American dollars to buy Russian oil.
Then last week, he wrote an oped. Let me quote from what he said in it. India's dependence on Russian crude is opportunistic and deeply corrosive of the world's efforts to isolate Putin's war economy. The US is trying to isolate Putin. That's news to us. It was Donald Trump who invited Putin to American soil, after all. It was Trump who rolled out a red carpet. Yet Navarro says the world is trying to isolate Vladimir Putin. And this is a daily thing now. If it's not the trade advisor, it's the Treasury Secretary. If it's not the Treasury Secretary, it's the Commerce Secretary. The attacks are relentless and pointed. This week, the White House went a step ahead. They spoke of sanctions on India.
Look, the president has put tremendous public pressure to bring this war to a close. He's taken actions, as you've seen, sanctions on India and other actions as well. He's made himself very clear that he wants to see this war end.
The obvious question is why? It's one thing to criticize a partner. It's entirely different to go ballistic. So what could be the reason? For starters, none of these people are experts on geopolitics or experts on anything for that matter. Consider trade advisor Peter Navarro. Elon Musk called him a moron. He said Navarro was dumber than a sack of bricks. His words, not ours. But here's a more interesting point. Most of this criticism is coming from the financial advisors, not the diplomatic advisors. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has been measured. Yes, he criticized India, but he also praised the relationship. And why is this interesting? Well, think about it. Why are trade advisors wading into war and diplomacy? Why is a tariff man talking about NATO's eastern flank? It doesn't make a lot of sense. Unless, of course, this is not a political move, this is a financial move. Maybe Russia is an excuse to punish India, to put more tariffs and force India to make a trade deal. Of course, this is all speculation. The fact is, you never know. Trump has multiple grievances with India. New Delhi has rejected his mediation claims with Pakistan. It has refused to concede on tariffs. It has also refused to stop buying Russian oil. Any of these reasons could have triggered Donald Trump. But here's the deal. Reasons do not matter. What matters is the policy. Yesterday, Foreign Minister Jaishankar was asked about this. He was asked specifically about Peter Navarro's comments. Listen to his response.
We are not the biggest purchasers of Russian oil. That is China. We are not the biggest purchasers of Russian LNG. I'm not sure, but I think that is the European Union. We are not the country which has the biggest trade surge with Russia after 2022. I think there are some countries to the south. We are a country where actually the Americans said for the last few years that we should do everything to stabilize the world energy markets, including buying oil from Russia. Incidentally, we also buy oil from America, and that amount has been increasing. So, quite honestly, we are very perplexed at the logic of the argument that you had referred to.
He's right. The logic is indeed perplexing. It's almost like Trump is making an example out of India. Well, he's met his match. Donald Trump mistook India's maturity for weakness, and in doing so, he's undone decades of political investments.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
Stands at $36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktor
Hindi,
$30 trillion ka karjo.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Sekali radikali.
Japanese,
4 兆ドル以上も
Portuguese,
por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select a language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.